This is a podcast for spiritual downloads, star seeds, light workers, and authenticity. Spiritual awareness is advised. Welcome to the 1111 podcast. Would you join me with a deep breath in and a deep breath out? It is harvest time. Hopefully you've all been planting some really good seeds and really good energy because it is ripening and it is time for the harvest. So whatever you planted 2 weeks ago is now coming to fruition now. So the good thing about it is the harvest always can tell you what direction you need to continue in or what direction to change to go in. So it's all good, no worries. Shout out to those who support the 420 cause, who support the real, and another virtual successful concert last weekend. And apparently it did not capture on the YouTube live. It only captured a few moments, but IG holding out strong for us. And for a while I didn't have access to live feature on the Mary J. Wanna YouTube channel, but now that feature has been unlocked. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for the artist we know and love as Mary J. Wanna, and turn on the bell notifications so you can see the next time the artist that we cherish goes live, which may not be announced, at least not on this platform. So make sure you check that out as well. If you haven't already, submit a topic request if there's something you want to hear covered on this channel. Perhaps you want to be a guest yourself, or maybe you like to collaborate, have maybe a feature on one of your platforms. I'd be honored to do so. I appreciate you for sharing, subscribing, liking to the YouTube channel. YouTube channel will be premiering a new episode on the following day if you're catching this live. So make sure not only are you subscribed, but you have those bells now, those hunchback bells turned on, because we have new episode premiering tomorrow. So you want to make sure you catch that live as it airs, so you can watch the premiere. Decided I'll have the premiere YouTube channel perhaps show up on a different day, so that way those who want to catch it live in action have the opportunity to do so without having to miss these episodes airing live also. And then if you haven't gotten your merchandise from the merch store, check it out. Get your merch from the merch store. Rock some paraphernalia. Advertise the cause. Take a screenshot, or not a screenshot, but a selfie, as they say, of yourself wearing it. Tag me, all that good jazz. You can always reach out social media. Hit me up on IG mainly. And yeah, we are continuing here with the 7 deadly sins. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again and continue to say that when we discuss this topic, the word sin is an adjective used to describe anything that keeps you away from love. So it can also be used as a verb, I suppose. It's what you do that keeps you out of love, out of the frequency of receiving and sharing divine love. Because there are two types of people in this world. There are givers and there are takers. And so we need to learn how to give and receive love in this journey of human existence. That's part of the goal. Part of the goal is to learn and master these things. And if you are someone who is very serious about your healing journey and very dedicated to it, and maybe you've gone to therapy, for example, or you've done holistic healing in the past, I would encourage you to keep trying. Maybe you haven't found the right practitioner, haven't found the right fit yet, but I would say keep trying. And if that is something you're interested in, please reach out to my email. I do provide donation-based counseling for those who are interested. And there's holistic healing, dream interpretations, all that is available as well. So just reach out, let me know what it is that you would like and when you would like to partake in that service. And if you want to just give back to the channel in general, you can hit me up through CashApp. That's also available if you want to leave monetary blessings. And always a star review, comments, all of those things help the channel be recognized. So those things are greatly appreciated. And if you want to maybe give back in a different way by being a part of an empire that is building up from the ground up, an empire that is imperishable, and build something to give back to the people and be your own boss, being your own emperor, empress, then reach out and let me know what way you like to join the empire and be a part of this stratosphere that's occurring. So keeping right on with the 7 deadly sins saga, moving on to wrath. Wrath. What is wrath? My question of the day is, what is wrath, and how is it different from rage or anger? So you already know how to type it in, search it up on Google, and accordingly to Google. No, shoot. Okay. Maybe according to Reddit, because I did just open this Reddit thread, so let's see. Oh, they're talking about, do Buddhists get angry? Oh, hell yeah, they do. Of course, people get angry. Let's redefine what this means, because anger is a human emotion. And we see that also replicated even in divinity. So whether you believe in a spiritual creator or not, that creator gets angry as well and replicates the human emotions we have. So emotions are not bad. And my deepest apologies and condolences to those who grew up in environments who were taught to suppress their anger. Are taught anger was the only form of expression to use, i.e. males. But I want you all to know that the whole range of emotions is fine, and the more that we can actually tap into that, the closer we get to our divinity, believe it or not. It's not weak to be emotional. It's not weak to show emotion. And we have this warped perception because of society that is unintegrated and wants to control. That's one of the best ways. Let's suppress everybody so that everyone is a walking shell, or the walking dead as we may call it. So wrath, according to this overview, wrath is a more intense and potentially destructive form of anger, often associated with the desire for vengeance or punishment. Anger, while also a strong feeling of displeasure, is typically less intense and less likely to be accompanied by a strong desire to inflict harm. So anger is more of a natural human emotion. It can be a response to perceived or received wrong or injustice. And it can be healthy to express that emotion in ways that do not inflict pain onto others. And anger can range from mild to intense rage. So then you have to ask, what is rage? And you just keep going down this rabbit trail until you get to that answer you're looking for. And rage, on the other hand, is more of a violent outburst. It is not necessarily in the realm of what we would consider healthy emotion, because it's often an immature outburst. It's not a I mean, I guess it is an emotion, but it can tip more into an unhealthy place. When you start to see just red and hot white lava, that's not a good sign. That means you've tipped over into an area of the psyche that now has formed it into rage, which is what happens when that injustice has been bubbling under the surface for so long and has been so controlled and so suppressed and so minimized and pushed down that now it has either subconsciously turned into a rage either against oneself or projected towards other people. But let's look up what is rage. Violent, uncontrollable anger. Yeah, so when we reach that place of uncontrollable anger, when we're not cognizant of what we're doing anymore, we're actually liable to be controlled by even more forces. So when we're in an uncontrollable state of our own being, we're actually susceptible to be controlled by forces such as rage and things that are not helpful for us. It's like going to a party and, getting intoxicated to the point where you're no longer in control. Like, you're still you're still moving, you're still doing things, but now you are under the influence of something else. And now you have to apologize for what may or may not have occurred the night before, or have other people retell you what you did or didn't do. And it's not necessarily the best feeling. So that's one of the reasons why these type of emotions are rendered as 7 deadly sins, because they're not the best for the human or the soul or the spirit in any way, shape, or form. But they do happen and they do occur. So it doesn't mean to stay away from them, but it does mean to be mindful of what you're engaging in when you engage with these practices. So as I've been sitting with this energy of wrath and understanding it more, to me, one of the reasons why wrath is such a dangerous one and such one that is best to stay clear away from, is because it has the layer of vengeance. When you seek vengeance upon other people, it's basically an insult to the Creator to say, I don't trust you. I don't trust that the Creator will give justice due. So I'm going to take it into my own hands. And anytime we play God or we play the universe and try to take over what the universe can do, it doesn't yield good results. It doesn't yield good results. And that can be the same thing when it comes down to the choice of taking one's own life. Is because the divine has a unique time and blueprint for everyone's life. And when we take matters into our own hands and say, I want to eject myself from this experience, it's insulting what the universe had intended through you as a human embodied spirit. So it's doing an injustice to the universe, because the universe is like, I didn't get to play out what I wanted to play out. Now I have to come back and do this all over again. And this is not to make anyone feel guilty for those who struggle with this, or those who have been survivors of those who have committed taking one's own life. Because there are several reasons why someone would be pushed to do that. And to me, they're all legitimate reasons. And oftentimes the survivors can struggle with a lot of guilt, because there's an unresolved, unclosure, unanswered. So that's not a pain that I wish upon anyone. That's not a pain I'm trying to even stir up in anyone. But that is one of the reasons why that can be looked down upon, is because it is doing a disservice to humanity at large and to the universe. Now, whether there are reasons or not, the black and white form of it is that it is seen as almost insulting to the Creator. So the same goes with wrath. When we seek vengeance, or punishing others, we're saying we want to be in control of how someone deserves to be punished. And I've learned that the more that we fear, the more we seek to control. The more we operate from the vibration of fear, the more we seek the need to control. And when we are operating from control, we are not operating from trust. And that disconnects us. That severs our connection to love and to the divine. Because when we operate from love, there is trust inherent in that love. So when we love the universe, when we love ourselves, Wait, is it recording again? Oh shoot, I think it is recording again. Okay. Alright, so yeah. Thank you for your patience there. Slight delay there. The audio had some issues, but continuing forward here. The more we are feeling fear, the less we are a vibrational match for love. And so wrath, needing to have vengeance, keeps us out of the vibration of love and keeps us severed from love and distant and disconnected from love. We can never truly sever love, but it does keep us temporarily out of its range. And wrath is a form of control, because it again is taking matters into our own hands to say, I need to punish this person. I need to seek vengeance upon them. And as a quote says, the Creator says, vengeance shall be mine. Now, why would the Creator say that? Because the Creator knows vengeance is too much of an emotion that is all-consuming. In addition to that, if you engage with vengeance or seeking revenge or to seek to punish others, you are also, because we live in this earth and we live in duality and we live governed by universal laws, we are never able to escape the consequences of our choices. So if we seek vengeance, one of those consequences in this realm of this earth school, one of the realms, one of the universal laws is you will reap what you sow. So if you sow pain, you will harvest pain. And so the universe is like, no. It's better for me. First of all, I'm going to punish them in ways you could never even imagine. Second of all, I would much rather take the wrath and the vengeance because it's too much for your human conditioning to do this. And the other part of it is when we inflict pain on others, because we are governed in this earth school, what it does is it tethers us to that person. So just as much as we have to learn, for those who are survivors of abuse, you have to learn how to release all of that trauma, because unfortunately abusers tend to have this very unspoken underlying insidious thread of wanting to stay connected to their victims. It's a way to not feel alone again. These dark energies do not want to be alone. And so you have these abusive people or unsafe people who will cause trauma to others as a way to keep people tethered. Well, it's the same thing when you take matters into your own hands to seek vengeance or punishment or recompense against someone. You now have tethered yourself to them through pain. And this is what happens when we see karma play out, and we see soul contracts play out, and we see trauma bonds strengthened or played out. And those type of contracts are very hard to break because they're so deeply subconsciously programmed. And often those who abuse us are same people that we needed. Those who abused us, they didn't know they were abusive. They were our caregivers. They were our teachers. They were our friends. They were our lovers. They didn't know necessarily, unless they're a really sick person. They didn't intentionally abuse, but intention, regardless of maleficent or not, the intent might not have been to harm or to abuse, but nonetheless the damage is still done. The damage is still there. And so understand that when you seek revenge, when you seek wrath, whether justified or not, you cannot operate out of the realms of consequences that occur. So your free will, you can do anything you want, but you're not free from the consequences of your choices. And so the universe is like, let me spare you that, and let me do you one better. So oftentimes the vengeance or punishment we might inflict onto someone else is going to be minuscule to what the universe would actually be doing. And we might go, but they're having such a great time. Why do we see all these abusive people walking free? You don't know the half of it, of what's really going on. And you may not see it, and it's not even to see how someone else gets hurt, because that, again, could put you right in that same vibration of, why would you want to see someone else hurt or suffer? Again, if someone hurt you, it's because they're hurting themselves. So don't wish them more pain, wish them more healing. Wish them the courage to go heal. So don't keep hurting other people. That's actually more painful. To heal is more painful than to just keep the cycle going. So that's one of the things that happens, is that we live in this realm that has rules around it. And that's something that we see through, since this is a quote-unquote sin, this is something that we see my Ascended Master had to take on a human experience to reverse the damage that had been done by the first humans to walk this place. And so the only way to do that was to sacrifice oneself. Because up until that point, people were doing animal sacrifices and all these different things to try to gain some type of right standing with the divine, because they had cut themselves off through their foolishness, through their arrogance, through their pride, through their inhibited ways of being. And the only way to pay for that was, again, through blood. And that was why my Ascended Master had to shed his in order to create a right standing. And even though you still have people this day still trying to live under bondage and trying to live under an old rule, they say if you live by the past, you have to die by that as well. So those who try to, the sacred text is broken up into two formats for a reason. And those who only understand and live by the old text have to also follow every single rule in order to be in right standing, because they're living under an old rule. Just as we are entering into a new frequency where you have to spiritually elevate if you want to opt out of the current suffering that humans are experiencing.